Hey everyone, welcome to our January 2022 update. Due to a lot of us being busy over the Christmas period, we had to delay the last quarterly update, but 2022 is going to be a huge year for RTBR, and what better way to kick it off than a reveal at the end of this update of perhaps one of the most ambitious restorations in a cut content mod. Stay tuned for all the awesome stuff between. To get things started, our new rebels. The design takes inspiration from concept art, and is still on parity with our Metro Cops as they wear this flak jacket beneath the metal chestplate for comfort whilst walking the beat. As for the variation, there are literally hundreds of different variants of the rebels across all male and female heads. Designing these models initially started off with recreating Half-Life 2's rebel variants, but with each small change on those models, arm pad placements and color variants for example, made into modular pieces instead. Then, we added a few extra options, sourced from the concept art. The exceptionally modular approach to these models means it would be relatively straightforward to add additional body groups, skins, and head models in the future, further enhancing the individual personality of every rebel you'll come across. We will be taking a similar approach for medics down the line. Minetown, the final map of Division 2, continues to eke along the road to completion. Our priority has generally been working forwards, and so Minetown is still in need of further work, but SCP's touch-ups have pushed it just that little bit closer. We will be continuing to touch up Minetown from time to time as an idea strikes a member of the team, until the opportunity comes to focus on it wholly. There's some exciting ideas rounding off Division 2 within Minetown, so we're committed to getting this map right. Over time, our arm models, adapted from the wider suit model, have been outmoded by other models we've created for the player and around the mod. Andy created a set of arms especially for view models, repairing much of the texture issues caused by not having a dedicated arms model. As we continue to work away at Ravenholm, our zombie roster continues to bolster, including the revised Zombine. Naturally, our Zombine is heavily inspired from our redesigned soldier, and it's a great translation of that concept into the gory, gnarly version you'll be fighting on occasion in Ravenholm. Sometimes we source models from a variety of places in designing our maps, one of the benefits of creating a Valve game-based mod. However, sometimes the execution of an asset is not as good as the concept, as was the case for this hanging cage-like model from Portal. To ensure it didn't stand out as looking especially basic, White gave it a total remake that serves its purpose far better than before. In Ravenholm, Grigori's faith has been one of the few things keeping him fighting the good fight. You'll have a small window of opportunity in Quarrytown to spend some time in Grigori's own base of operations, the last church of Ravenholm, and see some of his handiwork. Eliden continues to move along with more detail added into the environment. You'll be seeing even more regarding the level in just a little bit as we showcase the other big new character in Eli's lab, but these shots prove Maxwell's lab will stand out from all the other lab environments in a big way. Directly inspired by concept art and put to great use by CW3D, these props join some of the other unique additions to Maxwell's lab intended solely for designing his environment to be as unique as possible. Maxwell has his own character in RTBR, shown through the personal choices in his living space. Weapon animations are a continual focus for Silent, who is regularly reworking the arsenal as his skills develop. The pistol and revolver are two he has recently remade. Take a look. As we replace all character models in the mod for style consistency, the corpses from Half-Life 2, that ironically are using an older Citizen model as their basis, were one of the first corpse models remade, with special attention paid to keeping it in line with our existing Citizens. A female variant was also modelled by Lisa to ensure detail is kept consistent within the models, although not pictured, as the only difference is in proportions of the model. With inner canals through to outer canals 02 more or less finalised, we have now begun working on wrapping up the canals section of Division 2 with outer canals 03. Much more naturalistic and less man-made, this set of canals is a look at what the environment far outside of City 17 begins to look like when far enough away from the wasteland to still be considered somewhat verdant and naturalistic. With Quarry Town 01's art pass concluded, Flash continues to push ahead with the second map of Ravenholm, honing in on the visual language of Quarry Town and keeping up the atmosphere built so far. Quarry Town still has some ways to go, but Flash's work continues to make it a vivid reenactment. The flare gun in RTBR is intended to have a very unique functionality that makes it much more enjoyable over the cut variant. It will be a definitive weapon, not just a utility tool, and this naturally begets ammo pickups in gameplay. You might well find, however, that these pickups come in handy before you arrive in the Arctic on board the Hyperborea. The critter that perhaps needs no introduction, Skitch, is now fully working inside of RTBR. He is a functional NPC with a full range of facial flexes, sound effects, interactions, and choreography animations, all of which allows him to become a character in his own right. Skitch was the hard work of a number of people on the team, each of whom will discuss their own contribution before we show you a few clips of Skitch in action around Eli's lab. Just to address 2 points quickly, in the original concept, Skitch was a female and quite a bit smaller. In RTBR, we've made Skitch male to preserve that girl and her dog relationship between Alex and dog in retail Half-Life 2, whilst also making Skitch larger to maintain the idea that, provoked and with his companion in danger, Skitch could be a legitimate and terrifying creature. First, from Andy, when I set about creating Skitch for RTBR, there were a couple of features that I felt were truly needed and make him recognizable. First was the overall head shape, with its small, sunken, beady eyes, followed by the two distinctive large fangs. The next features were Skitch's long, grasping forelimbs and hunched shoulders. After that, I went my own direction, favouring a short tail and trying for a blend of primate and reptile. I chose to ditch the collar and lead because I wanted Skitch to appear independent, yet protective of Alex and not subservient. After creating multiple colour schemes, including tan and orange featured in one of the references, we did finally settle on a natural pale khaki with mottled pattern. Next, a few words from Calamando, who did all the animation work on Skitch.
Hi there, I'm Calamando, and I animated Skitch. I was initially brought onto the team to work on Skitch for various other problems that were happening with the model, but what Skitch offered me was an opportunity to try out the various methods I'd been tinkering with in my own time, making blend trees, pose parameters, facial flexes, surfacing all those parameters to someone who's using Face Poser, getting the inverse kinematics to work, figuring out what all that was about. When animating Skitch, I kind of treated him a bit like a bird and a bit like a panther. He's kind of got a predator's body type, but he's mostly passive in the game, so you kind of have to draw the line between perfunctory motions and cute little movements. So I hope you enjoy the final product.
Finally, a few words from Amicus, who created the SFX for Skitch.
Hey guys, Amicus here, and I created the sounds for Skitch. When figuring out what direction we wanted to go with Skitch's vocalizations, we knew right off the bat that he should have sounds similar to that of a baby crocodile. When he's being spoken to by one of his companions and friends, he will respond with the almost laser gun sounding bark like crocodile juveniles do. But he can't always be cute, he's a killing machine. So, for his scarier side, he will hiss and roar like the true monster he can be when his friends are threatened. And you really don't want to get on this lizard dog's bad side.
Now, the moment you've all been waiting for. A sneak peek at some of the interactions you'll witness within Eli's lab and beyond. Please note, the surrounding environments and choreography is still up for some further refinement.
Hold it! No sudden moves. Wait a second. Gordon? Oh, Dr. Maxwell's gonna be so happy to see you. Good work, Skitch. But try to notice the suit next time.
Access accepted.
If only I was 10 years younger. I'd hit both my legs.
Doctor, you've got a guess.
Well, I'll be damned. Kleiner wasn't just pulling my leg. Really is you, isn't it? Where on earth did you find him? You.
He wandered in front of Skitch just a few minutes ago.
Well, in that case, it's a good thing you're not bringing him in here on a stretcher.
Very funny. You two mind if I get back to work on the teleporter?
Well, don't let me stop you. We need all the help around here we can get. Alex sure knows the tunes to play to an old man like me.
And that's all for our first update of 2022. Division 2 continues to be some of our most impressive work to date, and with Skitch fully implemented, now it's about refining everything in the release. We will hopefully have very exciting news for you soon regarding getting your hands on a new version of the mod. Before closing up, here's a few more roles we're still on the lookout for. 1. Competent level designers. We're still open to having both additional support in the art pass and blockout departments. 2. A facial flex or sculptor. We're still in need of someone comfortable with sculpting head meshes in the context of Source, so creation of VTAs as well. And 3. A texture/material artist. We're planning ahead to Division 5 and would like to start getting world textures for the Arctic put away, including variations of snow, ice, rock, and that kind of thing. So someone familiar with creating usable world textures in Source would be handy. If any of these roles look good to you, please add me on Discord at kralik/David #0901. Thanks for coming, and let's make 2022 one hell of a year.